Hello everyone, I'm Paul and today we're solving problem 2099. Find subsequence of length k with the largest sum. This is easy and here I will show you my thought process and how to solve this. The description is simple. We are given an array nums and an integer k, and we need to find a subsequence of length k that has the largest sum. Now, in case you don't know, let's say we have this array, and if we remove this element, this is a valid subsequence. If we remove this, 1 and 3 is also a valid subsequence. And if we remove these two, for example, this is a valid subsequence. And if we don't remove anything, this is also a valid subsequence. So we can get any subsequence from this by removing some or none of the elements here. Now going back to the problem, let's say we get this input. This is the array nums and k is 3. This means we need to select 3 elements from this array which give us the largest sum. So in this case the result is this, this and this. The sum for these elements is 6, which is the maximum value that we can get for any subsequence of length 3. So we need to return an array with these elements. So we return this. Now let's see how can we solve this. We know k is 3 and we need to get the largest sum. So the most intelligent thing here is to get the 3 largest elements. And we know here the 3 largest elements are this, this and this. Now the question is, how can we get these elements efficiently? The answer is we can sort this. And now we can take the last 3 elements in this sorted array. So we take these 3 elements. So now we know we can sum these elements to get the largest sum, which is 6. And finally we need to return an array with these elements. But the thing is that we need to return this in order, because we are working with subsequences here. Remember, we can only remove elements from the original array. So in this case, we will remove this. We will keep this, this, and this. So we need to return this in this order. We can't just swap 4 and 3. Here 3 is in the left and 4 is in the right. We need to keep this same order. So the final strategy here will be the following. Before sorting the array, we will replace every number here with an array with the current value, in this case -1, and the current index, in this case 0. So just to be clear, I will put the indices for each element up here, and with this information we can build the new array, which will be the following. So now we can sort this array by the first element and we get the following. And now we can take as our array with the last k elements. Remember, k is 3, so in this case we take the last 3 elements, and we need to sort this again by the second element, meaning the initial index for every value. So finally here we have all the values for the largest sum sorted in the original order. So now we can iterate this and build the result. The result will be an array with the corresponding values for every element in this array. So finally we return this. Time complexity for this will be big O of n log n, basically because we need to sort this, and space complexity will be big O of n, which is the required space complexity for sorting in Python. So now let's go with the code and hopefully you will get the idea. First, n equals length of nums, and now for I in range n, nums at I will be an array with the current value, meaning nums at I, and the current index, I. Now we need to sort nums, and we are sorting this by the first value every time, meaning by this. So we can keep this empty to select the first value. Now we'll take a substring, nums equals a substring that goes from -k up to the end. So we are taking the last k element. Now we need to sort this again, so nums.sort, and here we are sorting this by the index, meaning by the second element. So here we can use key equals lambda x x1. So we are choosing the element at index 1, this. And now we can build the result. So result is an empty array. We will finally return this result, and for I in range k, result.append nums at I 0. And this is the entire code. Now let's submit this and see if it works. This works and it's very efficient, so if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.